It's a pleasure to be presented by Victoria, who is a former colleague of mine in the UN. And now I have one foot in the private company and one foot in the UN. I have been asked to very briefly outline the key elements of how we in the United Nations are organizing ourselves to make the best of the horizontal involvement in Expo 2015 and the opportunities that the new approach offers. I would say that the key elements underpinning our preparations to participate in the Expo are content, coordination, collaboration, and communication. As Mr. Juneja explained yesterday, the theme of the Expo enables the UN, and in particular the Rome-based agencies, also referred to as the Polo Alimentare, to bring expertise and experience to many parts of the Expo site, particularly in the thematic areas such as Pavilion Zero and the biodiversity entrance spaces, in the 9 clusters, which were just described now, and in relation to the call for best practices in sustainable development. We in the UN welcome the special attention being accorded by the organizers to gender mainstreaming, to youth, and to children. These are all priorities in the work of the United Nations. The UN is also well placed to organize and participate in various events and conferences on key issues related to food security before and during the Expo. One of the mechanisms that has been set up to implement our engagement in Expo is the team that Victoria just referred to and that I have the pleasure of working with. The team is composed of representatives of the 3 Rome-based agencies, FAO, IFAD, and WFP, and we're also working very closely with Biodiversity International and the UN Communications Group. There is also a steering group of senior managers, co-chaired by the UN and Expo 2015, in itself, I would say, an unprecedented mechanism, which is responsible for policy and strategic aspects and also provides guidance to the team. Several of our colleagues are here participating in the IPM, and I hope many of you will have a chance to meet them if you haven't done so already. As you heard yesterday, the strategic partnership that is being forged between the UN and the organizers of Expo calls for early engagement. In the past few months, a number of workshops and meetings have been held for Expo to explain concepts and plans, as well as to enable UN experts to provide initial views and suggestions. Just last month, we had a very useful meeting on biodiversity, bringing together Expo colleagues, but also FAO and Biodiversity International. Further such meetings and consultations are scheduled to take place in the coming weeks to enable the organizers of Expo to take into account at least some of our suggestions as they move into the development phase. There is a meeting on clusters taking place on the 24th of October in Rome, in which we expect quite a number of experts to participate from our side. And I think Filippo and his team will also be there. There's also a possible meeting that could be organized in Geneva for the Geneva-based agencies who are also thinking of collaborating with CERN, or CERN, whose Commissioner General is here. This early engagement with Expo has, to some extent, already been helpful, particularly in bringing to the table our experiences in assisting developing nations, which, as Mr. Juneja stated yesterday, is our mission and passion. We are currently in the process of obtaining inputs and proposals from all UN system agencies and Biodiversity International in a coordinated manner. The proposals will then be consolidated and discussed with our Expo colleagues. We will obviously have to prioritize our proposals, as we have to be mindful of the workload on our colleagues. Just like everybody else, we are also being asked to do more with less. All agencies have been requested to indicate in their submissions how they can collaborate amongst each other, as well as with other partners during the Expo. We expect that there will be some opportunities to collaborate with participating countries, civil society organizations, and corporations. Such cooperation would definitely have to be coordinated by the organizers of the Expo, bearing in mind also that the host country and organizers of universal exhibitions always cover the costs of the UN's participation. I should mention here that our guidelines allow and even encourage corporations to supplement the resources made available by the organizers for the UN system. They can do this by sponsoring some of our presentations and activities, but obviously this has to be done in line with both Expos as well as the UN's own guidelines for commercial sponsorships. Expo 2015 offers a unique opportunity for the UN system and other official and non-official participants to communicate key challenges, issues, and initiatives related to food security and sustainable development. In particular, the proposed Cyber Expo can be developed to offer an unprecedented communications opportunity to reach millions and millions of people around the globe, in addition to the visitors who will be coming to Milan. This and other innovative modalities adopted for Expo 2015 can also set the tone for future universal exhibitions. Finally, we also look forward to taking part in the process leading to the legacy document that the Secretary General of the BIE has underlined as a priority. And in closing, some of you may be wondering where this new modality and approach for the UN's participation came from. It didn't come from any of us in the UN. And I think where credit is due, one has to say it. This is the brainchild of Stefano Gatti. He's not in the room, but I will ask Vittoria to accept the Oscar in his name. Thank you very much.